Okay, leveling time. Mordred, the big man. You need debuff resistance is really what I'm... Okay. Reduction of armor loss is still very tempting, but... yeah. So we've got 2 points to spend. That's irrelevant. We do not get that enough that it matters. Range of Thunderbolt could be actually nice. So 30% mental debuff is what we're looking at. We'll do this. Spend 1 here. That will, bring us up to almost 50% on both, which is pretty good. And I guess this other point could go to more HP from sigils. How much do we get? 46, 5%. That is not really that much, so I don't think the percentage here really is that good. Right, 10% would be 4.8. And that much extra health is kind of negligible. For a whole perk point, it's pretty negligible. Stigmata giving an extra vulnerability percentage could be pretty darn good. Oh, we have this. We do not need 100 vitality on the man. The injury token's nice, but he rarely ever gets injured. Might just do 5% more block, because that's just flat damage mitigation. Because next thing we'll get is likely... it's likely this, which is going to take 2 points anyways, so... Yeah, we'll just do outnumbered, because that one happens very often. This is also pretty good, simply because our armor is high enough that we're usually at max health, but I feel like this is still better. Okay. Okay. Valen. Immune to opportunity attacks would be really good. In fact, after that last experience, I think I might take it. But I could be smarter about it, really, and not have to suffer them from being behind people. We can potentially improve that by going down this thing. And, man, we did not need to spend that much on gas trap. It's really not that good. I might just do a respec here, honestly. I have 2 respec books, so it's tempting to think about who I should use it on. I kind of want to just get rid of... Like, I'd keep this amount of the trap stuff here, and do the poison part of it. But, I don't know, man. Knockback, not really what I want. Increased range is pretty darn great. Cooldown would also be pretty good. Just for the sake of... Yeah, we're going to do this just because it's going to save my ass more often than not. Because more of this stuff is good, right? Especially that just every turn being able to jump attack, basically surprise jump attack, and that be my damage. But what I'm doing there really is trying to avoid opportunity attacks, right? This will not only be offensively useful by allowing me to kind of just run away after dealing my damage more often, but saves me for when I get into really bad positions where I need to run, or someone's facing somewhere I forgot to count for or whatever, or there's multiple guys. I think that's just the safer option. Morgwaz. That would be... Really, I'll get that for the spellcraft, because her cooldowns are all like 2 turns. Not important here. So I feel like... That's nice, extra resistance. Having your aura give more of that's also good. I've made the ice spikes better. I haven't used it in actually a good while. Don't care about these HP drops to 0 things. So it'd really just be... I could get a new active skill. Or Or I could go right for the ice stuff. It would have been really fun to actually make her a lightning build sometime. So what I think we're going to do is... we're going to get this, just make her aura better, especially since now we're getting debuffed a lot. And then I guess we could do the armor breaking on this being extra 50% is pretty good. Simply for the fact that also get new melee weapons for her. Yeah, this is just straight up better. And she does her basic melee attack fairly often. Ooh, that's pretty good too. Oh, we're going to do that. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so that kind of solidifies that we're going to do the armor breaking. Just so she can freeze and punch everyone, and, you know, now that extra damage will, you know, the way it scales to the armor breaking will be pretty darn good. That's still tempting at some point, but really, it never comes up as completely detrimental. Okay, Hector, the big man, the man himself who pretty much solos half the fights. As long as he doesn't get hurt. So, magical armor, again, starting to look even more tempting because it's getting charged a billion times. Or, hear me out, I just go even more aggro. He doesn't hit the people that he's burning too often, honestly, so that doesn't really matter. Duration could be good. It's also okay. Debuff resist is cool. That's actually going to be very... so it's between that and a mage armor. Because there is basically one turn every match where he just has to fire his thing, but that's only really bad, I guess, when we have these huge single enemies. So I think we're going to go for the magical armor just because it's going to save me from having to cry at some point. Although that's also really tempting. Just because I do apply enough hexes and just making it reduce armor, especially against these guys that have, you know, 40 armor. You know, being able to strip an extra, like, 3 or 6 off is pretty good. But we're going to do the mage armor. It just has to be done. Just to save me from getting completely screwed over. Okay, Gawain. It's between your freezing attack... right, which is good, but I've been kind of just focusing on making him a tank, because that's really what he's, like, very good at. So, in the spirit of that, we could go unyielding, you know, gain HP per hit. He has so much AP. He has 75. It's insane. Okay. So, we could do this, get another 3 armor, which is huge. Yeah, I think we're going to do unyielding just because he's going to get smacked a lot. He constantly turns towards him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we can either do, we can do unyielding, or we can do 3 armor and Death Strike, pretty much. Actually, no, this could be good. Yeah, we're going to do this simply because it will allow him more often to not have to choose between hitting and getting a taunt, right? It allows that extra 1 AP to come through and get the, be able to, you know, proc the taunts, right? Because he has 7 action points of usability. So usually he will hit 1 person and now bump him up to 4, regardless of who he hits. And bump him up to 5, right? Which is enough to get a taunted and our hidden. So do that, and more armor. Alright, flat damage reduction is just very hard to beat. Okay, we have a problem here where I spec'd you into knocking down, and now we're fighting all men who were... So I might actually... No, Red Knight's just then going to be the man who, you know, fights we bring on the missions where we don't have the Formians, basically. I think is, so I kind of want him to stay this. Although we could really heavily bleed spec him, but I think it's fine. Okay, so what do we need? Block is big. In fact, I think it might be just what we grab. Recuperate could also be useful. Or we can keep going him this offensive route. I think I want to keep going him offensive. Him and Galahad are offense. Gawain, I mean, more just kind of jack of all trades, great at everything. But Gawain is so good at defense. So I'm going to keep focusing him on defense. So Red Knight, we want you to be a little bit more offensive. So what we're going to do is make your kick better, I think. We're going to do this, because that's just actually so good on these type of guys. And making the kick 1 is going to be, I think, in the long run, a better choice. So it simply just gives me another, right? It gives me a 1 AP way to knock down somebody, which is, you know, nothing to sneeze at. Alright, last but not least, we have our Sir Galahad. He's kind of got all of his offensive stuff as much as possible right now. So I think guard could be good. Oh, let's just do all resistance. There we go. That's good. Right, because it's not something... Although the block is also really good, but let's just do the resistance. There we go. Especially once we get the little upgrades here, extra 15, it'll bump him up over 50%, which is, you know, nice thing to sneeze at. And he's our lost exterminator extraordinaire. Okay. Okay, there's our levels. Alright, let's see. Is there anything that pops up when I go here? Oh, we got 2 new side missions? Okay, so we got Order to Seraphim. Level 19, that ain't happening. Retribution, and... Okay, here's an event. So let's do this. Christianity. Yep. Bye, Deepwood. You guys are assholes. Yeah, I don't really care about any of those anymore. Okay. So we got more side missions, which is nice. So Order of Seraphim's next on the list. Alright, now let's look at our thing. Okay. Did they restock? Yeah, restocked, but it's like the same stuff, so it's like whatever. Ooh! We got a Legendary 15. And we have a lot of money. Start of each encounter is much better. Gain 2 armor. And then regain, so, you know, you just heal up. And then 24% mental debuff is pretty big. Might buy for her. Yeah, so it's here. Yeah, we'll buy this for her. But before I spend my money, I'm just going to check. I don't have range skills spec'd. Against burning, it's pretty big. Buy an armor potion. Buy a healing potion. Not close to running out, but you know, it is what it is. Look at the Enchanted Tower. What do we got? Maybe we stock after a mission, but I think we have enough to buy one, yeah. So, huge poison. In fact, the fattest poison damage on the planet. That's just huge. Like, just straight up. Don't care because I'm not using sages much. Like, Lady Morghulis, sure, but whatever. Champion. Funny, but I don't think great. It's a lot of HP. It's a lot of armor, too. That's just because it's Okay, I think the bow is how we're going. Because Damas actually proved himself to be pretty solid. He wasn't amazing, but this would bump him up to just being really good, in my opinion. Because his poisons, at the very least, were constantly making the enemy do, you know, enough less damage that if I put him in a more tank-heavy party, he could be the back row and just make the enemy unable to actually hurt the tanks even more so than they are. So we're going to buy it just to get it. If we can burn some of this stuff, if we really need, spot something we really need. We got our training grounds, great. We need to throw people into the hospice. So, actually, let's look at the missions available. Okay, so we will be doing the level 17 that's available to us.
The secret order of the
Sealy. So we will be bringing Gawain, who is, you know, big level. Okay. We could bring him, but let's just heal him up. So, quick. Yep, spend the money. Okay, we'll bring Dindrade. Just because I want to get her. Actually, can she just level up from training? Yes, she can. Okay, never mind. We will not. We will do this instead. Now let's just heal you up. Okay. Alright. And with that, we're going to end this one here, because I don't feel like starting it right now. This was kind of just an inventory management episode. Could get the moss, and you know, in fact, let's buy this armor before I forget about it. Because we have so much money. In fact, there you go. I'm pretty sure that gives her extra loyalty too, because of her, yeah, for each relic equipment. Great. So we've got 2,000 left. We could, yeah, let's do this. There we go, slightly better. Get you healing as well. Okay, and that means our party for the Sealy, who are stun heavy to hell.
secret order of the Seraphim is
So we're going to do this so she has the aura that gives everyone else debuff, and we need him to knock down people because he can.
Upon a site of great power, which used to belong.
Yep, great, cool. And I guess everyone else can go into the training ground. Not that you're ever seeing the light of day again. Okay, now we're actually in this one here.